Hello everyone, welcome back to my YouTube channel. Today I am covering the second game of round 1 from the CERRADO section of the Menorca Open 2026. The two Indian grandmasters, one completely unexpected opening and a jaw-dropping endgame conversion where Nihal Sarin played 30 plus moves with under 1 minute on the clock. This is chess on the edge. Let's break it down. The game starts with Nihal playing e4, e5, bishop b5, bishop b5 before even playing knight f3. This is Portuguese opening, a rare tricky system where white plays bishop out immediately before developing the knight. It's not mainline theory, it's psychological weapon. c6, bishop a4, knight f6, d3, d5, e into d5, knight into d5, knight f3, bishop d6. White castles, black castles, h3. h3 is quite prophylactic move. It stops bishop g4, bishop f5. The resulting position after move 8 looks Ruy Lopez, but the move order has scrambled. White has d3 instead of d4, giving a typical King's Indian attack-like structure. Knight bd2, knight d7, knight e4, bishop c7, rook e1, bishop captures knight. This is an inaccuracy. Black is giving its bishop pair and for a knight. That doesn't make sense. Here a5 was best. a5 was stronger, keeping the bishop and preparing a4 to clamp down on the queen side. d into e4. White recaptures with d into e4. The d pawn moves to e4, giving white a strong central pawn pair. Black loses its bishop pair advantage. Never trade a good bishop for a knight unless you get something concrete in return. Here, black gets nothing. White's center actually improves. This is a kind of inaccuracy that doesn't lose immediately but creates long-term positional problems. Knight 5, f6, c3, knight c5, attacking the bishop, bishop c2. Bishop c2 now has a powerful diagonal aimed at h7 pawn. The e4 pawn becomes an asset. Queen into d1. Rook takes queen. After queens come off on the move 14, we enter a queenless middle game. h6, rook e1, rook fd8, king f1, knight d3. A good active square for the knight, hitting the bishop and gaining the rook for it. Because it is attacking the bishop and the rook, white has to capture it with the bishop and black rook will capture one of the white bishops. So bishop pair will no longer be a problem on the board. Bishop takes d3, rook takes bishop. Black gets the open d5, but the position remains approximately equal. Knight d4. Nihal slips. White plays knight d4, an aggressive centralizing move, but this is actually a mistake. The problem is black can immediately play a into d4. King e2. Rook takes c3. d into c3. Bishop a5. And for this reason, this move played by Nihal, knight d4, was a mistake. Let's see what Harikrishna plays. Bishop a5. Oh, he missed it. He missed e into d4. He played bishop a5 instead. This is the moment Nihal makes a mistake and Hari doesn't punish it. N knight f3, rook a d8, f3, knight h5, king e2, g6, knight e7 check, king g7, knight d5. Nihal centralizes the knight powerfully. It hits the rook on d3 and threatens multiple things. You can't capture it with the rook because then pawn will capture the rook, and this rook is hanging. If you capture it with the pawn, then white king will capture this rook. Here, Hari plays rook 3 into d5, which is a mistake. Here, rook d4 was best. Harikrishna captures the knight, but this is a positional blunder of the highest order. E into d5, c into d5, g4, attacking the knight. Here's the most extraordinary part of this game. From move 26 onwards, look at Nihal's clock. Nihal Sarin played 35 more moves with basically no time on his clock, surviving purely on the 10-second increment. Every single move had to be made within the 10 seconds. Yet, his play was precise, accurate, and winning throughout. Knight f6, f4, g4 plus f4. Nihal launches the king side pawn storm immediately. No hesitation. The f and g pawns become weapons. They restrict black's knight. They create threats on f5 and g6. They support the d5 pawn. e4, bishop e3, bishop b6, offering the bishop trade, and white bishop captures the bishop. A into b6. White trades off black's good bishop, leaving black with only the rook versus white 2 rooks and mobile pawns. Rook e1, h5, g5, attacking the knight. Knight g8, which is an inaccuracy. Black should have placed its knight on e8 square because then the black knight had so many options to hop on. Rook d4, knight e7, rook a d1, rook e8, rook takes d5. Trading one rook to activate the other, Nihal keeps one dominant rook while black's pawn fail. Knight takes rook, rook takes knight, e3. Harikrishna's last desperate counterplay, pushing the past e pawn, but Nihal calmly captures. Rook e5, rook d8, rook takes e3. The e pawns fails. Now it's a pure rook endgame. White has a rook and 3 connected queenside pawns versus black's rook and scattered pawns. King f8, a4, rook d5, rook e5, rook d6, h4, f6, g into f6, rook takes f6, king e3, king f7, b4, rook d6, c4, king f6, rook d5, rook c6, king d4, king e6, a5. Nihal's connected pawns advance like a machine. Black is powerless to stop all 3 simultaneously. B takes a5, rook takes a5, rook b6, rook e5 check, king f6, b5, rook d6, king c5, rook d1, king b6, rook d4, c5, rook takes f4, rook e8, rook b4, rook b8, rook takes h4, king takes b7, rook c4, c6, g5, c7, g4, b6, g3. Checkmate is now unavoidable. King f7 was best. The engine announcers forced checkmate in 14. Hari was hoping the g-pawn could promote, but Nihal's connected b6 plus c7, pawns are unstoppable. Rook g8, h4, c8 pawn promotes to queen. The queen ending is completely hopeless. And this is on move 61 that Grandmaster Harikrishna Pentala resigned. This was all from my side. If you like my analysis, please like, subscribe, and share with your friends. And please don't forget to solve the puzzle that I have kept for you in the right corner of the screen. Thank you. Take care and bye bye.